What if you knew Jesus was hungry? What would you do to feed him? Jesus said, "Feed the hungry." Good morning and welcome to 755 Live. For about 5 minutes, you'll hear all about easy to remember soundbite versions of what Jesus said. And the point is to help you experience life to the fullest the Jesus way. Today's Jesus Said comes from Matthew 25, 35 through 36, and we're going to be reading from the New King James Version this morning. Then the king will say to those on his right hand, "Come, you blessed of my Father, inherit the kingdom prepared for you from the foundation of the world. For I was hungry, and you gave me food. I was thirsty, and you gave me drink. I was a stranger, and you took me in. I was naked, and you clothed me. I was sick, and you visited me. I was in prison, and you came to me." Unpacking this a little bit, this portion of Scripture inspires several of these Jesus Said soundbite quotes. In this particular instance, next, this group asked Jesus, and the king will answer, or they ask him actually, what do we do? When did we do this? When did we help you? And the king answered, "Assuredly, I say to you, inasmuch as you did it to one of the least of these my brethren, you did it to me." It's important to understand that Jesus was not just saying to feed the hungry. He was literally saying, when you do or when you don't feed the hungry, it is actually just like doing it for Jesus, as if Jesus were hungry. So why aren't we doing that? Now, Matthew 24 and 25, Jesus is talking all about the end times. He says that some of those signs of the end times are rumors of war. We have that. Lawlessness will increase. Yeah, there's a lot of big sins in the world. But we're also told by Paul in 2 Thessalonians 3 that there is going to be a falling away first. Well, what would that falling away look like? Well, let's ask, what does not falling away look like? Well, it looks like obedience. Are we being obedient? Why aren't we doing what Jesus said? If you ask anyone who doesn't follow Jesus what church people are like, let me tell you what you won't hear. You won't hear, "Oh, well, they're all about feeding the hungry. They're all about welcoming the stranger, clothing the poor, visiting the sick, going to the prisoner." Unfortunately, many times you hear the opposite. Why? Well, because we think following Jesus is about getting our needs met. That's the preacher's job or the church's job, to feed us. How many times have you heard in the context of moving from one church to another, "Oh, well, I'm just not being fed"? But that's not what Jesus meant when he told Peter to feed his sheep. His sheep hear his voice, but they don't just listen to the words, they do what he says. And Jesus said, "Feed the hungry." Not show up to be fed. Actually, Jesus said, "I am the hungry. You either did or didn't feed me." So how do we ignore Jesus? I mean, why do 25,000 people a day die of hunger-related causes in our world today? And yet we still ignore what Jesus said. Now, I don't claim to have all of the answers or to even be doing all I can to obey what Jesus said. But we have to stop being content with doing less. We're not going to stand before Jesus one day to answer for our church attendance or the scriptures we posted with one click from a Bible app. We're going to have to answer the question, "I was hungry. What did you do?" And I believe that that's more than just physical hunger. I believe that's a hunger for the truth, a hunger for relationship, a hunger for just being noticed. Are we paying attention to the least of these? Because when we do, we're actually honoring and paying attention to Jesus. Jesus said, "What you do for the least of these, you are doing for me." How do we simply ignore Jesus? Jesus said, "Feed the hungry." How can you put that into action today? Thank you so much for listening. If this is meaningful to you, it really means a lot to me if you like it, if you share it, if you comment. Good morning, Teresa. Good morning, Tina. Thank you for checking in. I really appreciate all the support. I hope that you have an amazing day, and I hope this time together has helped you live life to the fullest, the Jesus way. And remember, follow Jesus today. Love first.